All right, everyone. Here we are. This is the Sweet Spot, a special Friday edition of the Sweet Spot. Here live from the Golf Center driving range. Just a quick shout out. We got the production level of these shows is starting to get a little out of hand. So if we got anybody, amateur production specialist that wants to come and maybe throw us a bone, help us out a little bit. If we could take a picture of what we have going on here behind the camera, that would be...
I should take a picture and post it.
You should take a picture and post it. So, here we go. So this is the Sweet Spot. We're going to talk about our trip to Fisher's Island. It was quite the adventure yesterday, so we're going to, definitely want to stay tuned here. But first, as always, we got a little bit of housekeeping to go over here first. So, congratulations, Larry Menta.
Larry Menta.
Larry, winner of the share from our episode.
Don't play.
Winner of last show. Thank you for sharing the video. Send us a message, and we 2020. So congratulations, Larry. Thank you. Just gonna go over some things happening here at Lyman at the property. It's $35 on the player course during the week right now. $40 on the Jones course, so we've dropped our weekday rate. We got one more weekend here at our full rate, but the courses are in wonderful shape. So you should gotta get out here and play. We got a few tee times left for the weekend, so go ahead and book the time there and come out and enjoy a nice round of golf. The colors right now
Popping.
are really nice.
This is probably peak right now at Lyman
It's gotta be
Orchards in
pretty
this
close,
area,
yeah.
Middlefield. It's got to be right at peak. The backdrop right here, the first hole has reds, oranges,
Why don't we
yellows,
pick
and
that
green.
background there? That's pretty.
This one's not as colorful.
There's not really this
Because the
orange
winds.
and yellows and
Because of our production
And
value.
if anything, if this thing blows over on us, we apologize.
Yes.
Get out, play some golf. The courses are in really nice shape. We've got some exciting things happening down here at the Golf Center
Yes.
by way of simulators.
Simulators are coming. We had one last year. If you were able to come over in the winter last year, you saw our indoor TrackMan simulator bay that we used for some instruction, and we sold some memberships there. It was basically a test run last year to see if we could make this a real venture for 2019 into 2020 winter, and we did. We have approval, so we'll be making 3 bays. We'll be converting 3 of our existing outdoor bays where you can hit balls out of and not get wet in a rain day. We're converting 3 of those into indoor units, heat, TVs, and of course TrackMan simulator.
TrackMan 4.
So you'll be able to come here and practice or compete against yourself, or we're actually going to have a TrackMan simulator league on top of it. They'll start up after the new year. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along, but right now we are actually selling 25 memberships for all winter long. Balls indoors, which it is what it is in Connecticut.
And it's good for your game.
Yes.
You can actually see the numbers and kind of work on some shots. They got the TrackMan combine, which is fun. But they also just being able to play the golf courses can be a lot of fun.
Yes.
You're worried about
I'm
the
worried about the camera. I just saw it vibrating. I see it. Anything I see go left and right, I get very scared now. But yeah, the TrackMan simulator it's going to be the star of the show down here for about 4 to 5 months. It'll be starting up November 4th with 1 bay, and then when the completion of the other bays happen, which we feel like will be close to around Thanksgiving, we'll open up all 3, and we'll have this facility turned from an 8-month facility into a 12-month facility.
Yeah, we're excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Lessons going all winter long too, and we should just have a good time. So, ask about it. Talk to the Godfather.
Godfather is here to talk to you about it.
He will get you all situated there. We're close to signing a contract on new golf carts. I am the most excited I've ever been about a golf cart, and coming up here pretty soon. So that's really exciting. We've got GPS coming. GPS on all the carts.
All the carts.
Live leaderboard. Action, food and beverage menu ordering. Distance. Tee to green. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Global positioning satellites on the golf carts.
This is true.
Phenomenal.
And I got to tell you,
who would have thought?
I got to tell you, the stuff they're doing with GPS is pretty cool. I saw some pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Very expensive, but pretty cool things throughout this process.
Yes.
So
Well,
new carts coming, which is pretty exciting. They're, the asphalt companies out there right now fixing some more cart paths. They tackled number 3 on Jones. That's smooth now. It's great. So nothing, we got a lot of improvements happening on the property. And then, you know, we already talked about the bunkers, you know, on Jones and Apple 9 next year. But that process is moving along as well. So
Yes.
very excited.
I got a request from one of our viewers
Yep.
to wear fancier socks.
Okay.
So I took a page out of your book. I know
Okay.
you're the sock king. Today
You
must have been a laundry day. Lisa didn't get to that laundry.
No, she did not.
Well, she's got her hands full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does. Yeah, a little bit. A
Yeah.
little bit going on at the household. But,
Yes.
you know, I see you got the golf socks on.
I took that criticism, and I said, okay,
like it.
I'll change from the cream-colored whatever I was wearing last time to these golf green socks. I have exactly one pair of fancy socks, so I wore them today.
Well, maybe I can bring you some pair. I got a few.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll pick a few pair with the merchandise show this year.
There you go.
That's good.
Yeah, no, that's good. So Fisher's Island.
What a tremendous, what a day that we'll never forget. Let's say that.
So
Where
back
should we
in
start?
July, Godfather here, he's got his connections in the business, and he emails the pro and says, you know, I'd love to get a spot in October if I could. I got a group I'd like to take out there. And so we arranged this, and then, you know, date changes a couple times, but we finally get it.
October
Pick the day,
17th.
October 17th.
We're going.
Thursday, we're going. I've never done that before. You know, I've been on a couple of ferries, but not really. For Montana, we don't have a lot of ferries in Montana.
No.
So I didn't really know what to expect. I know it's a nice golf course. I'm looking forward to it. And then there's some trash talk that begins. And in and amongst the trash talk, turns out there's going to be gale force winds.
Gale force winds, yes. And, you know, if you live on the East Coast and you've lived through a hurricane or something, you know what gale force winds are. Jason, what are gale force winds?
Well,
You know now.
I know now what gale force winds are. And so I get up at 3:30, which was convenient. It helped out with the 3:30 feeding, you know, that was nice. And then so I meet the Godfather and teaching professional Dan Hannibal on 691, and you know, at 5:15, and off we go. And said to the guy, my wife just thought I was absolutely crazy.
Well, that makes
She
two
could
wives.
not believe that we were actually going through with this. So we get the ticket, we get onto the ferry, and I said to the guy, I said, "Are we really going? Like, is this really happening?" And he says, "Yeah, no, we've been in worse. It'll be fine." So then I said to the guy, "Well, what happens if we don't get back? Because I got some commitments that, you know, are kind of pretty important." He goes, "We'll make sure you get back. Don't worry." Sweet. Then I'm ready. Let's go. So
Oh, we got back.
we get we get on this ferry, and the seas were angry that day, my friends. The seas were angry that day.
If you've ever taken a ferry out of New London, you know that the ferry launch is in the Thames. It's not on the open ocean. So the water is relatively calm in the Thames, and it's surrounded by land. So we're just moseying along down the Thames. You pass that haunted red lighthouse out there. We're about 15 minutes into our 45-minute, but we're told 50-minute cruise ride today because it's going to be a little windier. And then all of a sudden we're on open ocean, and it's like someone turned the faucet on. We started bouncing pretty good. At this point, I turned to Jason, Dan, and Greg, and I said, "Guys, I'm not good on boats. I don't know if you know this, but I'm not really good on boats. I'm more of a land creature." And they start laughing at me, and I'm like, "Well, if I go dark here, it's because I'm just trying to focus on not throwing up." So what happens is 20 minutes in, everybody's still laughing. I have my breakfast. My wife made me this beautiful, I don't even know what it's called, but it's got,
The savior.
yes, it's got oats in it. It's got bananas
And apples in it?
Yes, it's delicious. She makes it for me every morning. It's wonderful. It's a great thing on the go. I'm not an egg guy, so it's perfect. So I eat that thing down, and then I noticed that you can't go outside in the boat anymore because the water is just absolutely
Waves.
pouring. Not from rain, but we're hitting waves, and it's just pounding on the side of the boat. Water's coming in through the door. A woman who's sitting next to the door is getting wet. That's
So she wasn't
sign-
wet. She was soaked.
soaked. And that's sign number one of maybe this wasn't a good idea.
Check.
Sign number two, I never noticed it, but Dan Hannibal made me aware of it, that the gentleman who was in charge of just, you know, making sure everything's on the up and up on the inside of the cabin has now put his life jacket on. I didn't notice because I was at this point too busy staring at the horizon trying to keep down those oats.
I picked up on that too. I thought, wait, what's happening here?
So I'm focusing very much in a straight line on the horizon. Jason, Greg, and Dan are laughing, and then all of a sudden, you know how a boat will bounce up and down like this?
We're going into the waves.
Yeah, bang, bang. And it was like a roller coaster, and I didn't like it, but these guys thought it was great. They thought they were at Six Flags. All of a sudden, the boat goes like this. I swear we were going to capsize. And now everyone on the boat, you know, if you're on an airplane and it drops, everyone's like, well, everybody on the boat, and these are a bunch of regulars on the boat.
Regulars. These are school kids that do this every day.
School teachers, school kids, construction workers,
We
maids.
turned into the wave, like sideways into the wave.
In unison, everyone goes, and I'm like, oh my God, we're going to die. We're going to die. That was sign number 3 now.
Yeah.
That was sign number 3. As this is happening, a woman's coffee is laying on the ground, spills all the way on the ground, and starts dribbling all the way down
Back
the boat.
and forth this way.
I mentioned that
Back and forth.
for what is about to come. Keep in mind the sloshing of the coffee. So there's a guy, the gentleman wearing the life vest, puts some paper towels down he stole out of the bathroom. He's mopping it up. I'm looking at the lady. She's mildly embarrassed, but it is what it is. And her friend is like this. And I'm like, oh, that could be me in a few minutes. We're at 7:30 now. 7:30. Jason and Greg are a lot quieter because it's starting to hit them. And Greg
did fine.
I've never been so quiet.
Dan had nervous energy.
Dan comes over, nervous energy, comes and sits next to me and starts talking to me. I turn and I just do this. Stop talking to me. Stop. Everyone's like, oh man, he's going to throw up.
John entered a level of focus that I've never seen anybody enter in my life. He just went into this zone, and you couldn't talk to him. You didn't want to look at him. It was like a pitcher throwing a no-hitter. You didn't want to look at him because you knew one false move, and it was over.
Oh, it was up Chuck
It was
City
over.
in one false move, just like if we get another first to win. So now it's 7:35. I'm focusing on my watch. I'm like 15 minutes.
15 minutes to go.
T-minus 15. Hold
We'll
it
get
together,
there.
John. I felt like my cell phone battery, like when you need that battery to last a little longer. 15 minutes. T-minus 15. I'm looking to my right, and this is not an exaggeration. I'm looking to my right, out at the horizon, and all I hear is this. Just picture this. Somebody throwing up and hearing the splatter of throw up on the ground. Everybody on the boat in that area is like, oh! And I'm like, oh no! And there is puke everywhere. And remember I talked about that coffee sloshing around? Well, puke is liquid too. And that was also sloshing around underneath people. People are picking their bags up quick. People are putting their feet up. And I'm like, I'm not going to make it. 5 minutes later, 7:40, the smell of this vomit is now permeating through the cabin. And keep in mind, you can't go outside.
You can't go
cannot go outside.
You're going to fall off.
You
the
will
boat.
die. There's no doubt about you're getting blown into the ocean. It's that windy out there. So here we go.
Windy today.
People are, and there's no reason for anybody to get up. It's like turbulence on a plane. Nobody should get up. But people were getting up. And you knew what they were doing if they were getting
Know
up.
where they're
There was a
going.
mass exodus to any area that looked like not the main cabin. And there's just puke flying everywhere. It was unbelievably disgusting. And I haven't thrown up yet.
The best part is that anybody who wasn't puking was talking about the people puking. So you're just sitting there and it smells and you're in this, and then the guy who's a regular over here behind me, he's just sitting with his feet up like this going, yep, there's the island. We're turning around going back.
Yes. So I turned to the
Oh,
school teachers that are next
my
to me.
gosh.
They're like, all have their phones out, and they're like, looks like you're not playing Fisher's Island today. We're literally 5 minutes from Fisher's
5
Island.
minutes from the little boat dock.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? And here I am, like, ready to throw up.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
Turning around.
They're turning the boat around. They don't think they can dock it safely. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're telling me they didn't know that ahead of time? So here we go. I got 20 more minutes on this boat now, 25 more minutes.
It was a while.
luckily,
long 25 minutes.
And I haven't thrown up yet, but people are still running and
They're
puking
still
everywhere.
going.
They're
There's people still going.
Remember the guy who handed out garbage
Yep.
bags? I looked right
About
at him.
30
and I go,
minutes too late,
Like,
by the
you ever
way.
been in a restaurant and you want the check?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll take one of those. Thank you. So he hands me a garbage bag. I'm just sitting there waiting, and I'm like, I can't handle this another 25 minutes. But luckily, by the act of God, we were actually heading kind of downwind, and because of that, it was much smoother a ride
It was
back.
smoother, but the stench was so bad that right when we got to the really calm water was about when I was going to lose it. Because you can only sit in a cabin like this smelling that for so long before you're going to lose your lunch.
At some point,
Breakfast, whatever.
someone must have felt the same way as you and
Holy
said, I am
smokes.
opening one of these windows.
Yes.
I don't care if we get soaking wet.
And why didn't that happen before?
Somebody opens the window, it's raining,
Ugh.
it's kind of water splashing in, it doesn't matter.
Who
We need to
cares?
suck this smell of vomit. It was brutal. The guy gets on the megaphone and goes,
Attention everyone, attention, we're not going to Fisher's Island. We are now turning around and headed back to New London. Full refunds will be issued.
Yeah.
oh
Oh,
my God,
goodness.
what a bummer.
So now it's 8:30 in the morning. We've taken the day off from work.
I feel sick.
You can't walk because you're standing in line waiting for a refund. Behind the girl that started it all, just threw up everywhere.
Oh man, she was whiter than white. She looked like Casper, the friendly ghost. She was pale.
And you don't want to go play golf because the wind is blowing literally
It's not like it's
50 miles an hour. It's not like it's
it-
only blowing on Fisher's Island. And so, but we did. We found,
Went to a diner.
went to a diner.
There was
which
some more group
we
food
need-
in our system.
you had to get something,
Hold that
which
puke
the
down.
oats probably were what saved you. Kept it together.
Thank God for those oats.
I mean,
'Cause I
your
would've-
wife came through on you.
Huge.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, it was huge. It was huge. So we go, we have breakfast, and I say, let me call up a friend over at the Black Hawk Club, Andrew Campbell. Thank you very much for allowing us 4 dopes to play the golf course yesterday.
Oh.
We were we were 4 of 6 people that played the Black
Yep.
Hawk Club yesterday. Have you ever had a chance to play the Black Hawk Club?
It's really
Line.
nice.
It's one of the nicest clubs in the state of Connecticut.
Really
Greens were perfect. Winds were coming out of the south at about 50 miles an hour.
It was insane.
Never played a windier day of golf.
550-yard par 5 into the teeth of the wind is like 800 yards.
The hole number 2 and hole 11 played a minimum of 700 yards, and that's being fair.
It was insane.
I hit driver 3
And we
wood,
walked.
3 wood,
And
and
you
I
were
still
short.
didn't get. It's still short.
We were short. I happened to hit a decent drive.
On number 2, I've never seen a ball turn from left to right as violently as Jason hit this ball. And Jason's a pretty straight driver of the golf ball, and this time he decided he wanted to see if he could turn the ball into a 90-degree right angle. It literally went out and just violently went to the right. It caught like a microburst or something. And wouldn't stop.
I was
laughing.
almost in the rough on the opposite side of the fairway over.
We
And
should.
it should have been a 10-yard thing.
We should have known probably to walk. We had to walk the golf course too, which I'm very proud of. Now I feel a lot better this morning. I
Really?
did some stretches.
You feel better?
I do. I did some stretches this morning. But remember what happened on the first hole? On the first hole, we're all putting. Dan Hannibal, he puts his bag on the green, but he didn't put it in the right spot. Well, I don't know where the right spot is.
The wind was swirling, so you couldn't just put your bag pointed into the wind.
He puts his bag on the edge of the bunker, and as he's putting, the bag blows into the bunker. All the clubs fall out of his bag into the bunker, and I go, Greg, your bag fell in the bunker. And Greg goes, that's not my bag. Dan's like, oh,
It's
man.
like it's like a yard sale in the bunker.
So we managed to play 18 holes
We
of
did
golf.
play 18 holes.
I mean, we've hit some really good shots, and I was actually quite proud of, well, not all the scores I made, but most of the scores I made considering it was that windy. And the wind is that strong. Downwind doesn't mean anything.
No, it was knocking the ball down.
It was knocking the ball down, so it's like you've got 140 yards in. What do you hit? Who knows? It's a stock 9-iron usually, but you were hitting sand wedge. at
There
one
were
point.
some greens that had so many leaves on them.
Yeah.
You didn't even bother to I mean, forget about it.
Yeah, and there's nothing they could do with
Forget
as a
about
staff there. That course was in amazing shape considering
It was
all the way.
great.
I feel bad for the
I
superintendent.
felt
There's a
bad.
lot
They
of
were out
limbs.
picking up sticks. I thought, man, just wait till tomorrow.
Wait till tomorrow. But so we play 18 holes. We drop off a little limoncello, which was meant for Dan Colvin and Fisher's Island, but Andrew Campbell played host to us. So I hope you enjoy that
Thanks for bringing
liter of
the little
limoncello
side,
I brought you.
Thanks for bringing the little side stash too.
Yes,
That
well,
helped.
there was 250 milliliters for us.
That helped.
That helped maybe knock that headache down a little bit. And then we got in the car and we went home, and I swear, once I got back to the parking ride where we met, I felt like the day after my 21st birthday. Splitting headache. It's not from drinking. It's just from feeling like you're going to
I think it's called old age.
Yeah,
maybe,
no, all
a
those
little
things
bit.
added up. Plus,
Oh.
39 years old now.
Holy
I'm getting
smokes.
old. But I slept like a baby last night, boy. I slept
I
pretty
bet
good.
you did.
What that was when it's all happening, you don't think of it like, oh, it was a real bummer we didn't get to play Fishers, but it was just a day I'll
It was
never
quite the
forget.
story. And everybody, the best part to me was that everybody knew we were going on the ferry. Everybody told you you're an idiot for going on the ferry. And everybody's texting you while you're on the ferry going, hey, how's that boat ride doing?
Yeah.
And you just feel like just a chooch for being
Yeah.
out there. Just, oh.
But you didn't puke.
I did not puke. Nobody in our
I
group
didn't-
puked.
No. I was definitely the weak
We're
link.
survivors. Yeah.
I was-
And if you would have lost it, at
wanted
one
to-
point Dan got up to go to the front because
Oh.
he just needed to walk
I
around.
didn't tell that part. Dan got up because he couldn't handle
And the
smell
bathroom
of
was in the
puke.
front. And he walked right around and came right back. He was like, whoa, that was a mistake.
He walks.
It was
walks up-
everywhere.
He was trying to avoid the smell of the puke
Oh.
running down the aisles, so he walks away. But what he didn't realize was everybody had thrown up on the floor in the bathroom too. So it was like out of
Everywhere.
a horror movie. I mean, I don't think it's even that bad at like a concert. or
Couldn't be.
anything. There's
Couldn't
no
be.
way. I've never seen that many people throwing up at the same time. But experience I'll never forget.
This is true.
Fisher's Island next year.
So
hopefully
maybe
we can-
next year we can make it.
I'm gonna talk to Dan, see if we
the seas are a
see
little
if, we can
quieter.
fly, if he minds if we fly out there next year instead of taking a.
This was
boat ride, but-
insane. It was a fun day. We'll remember that one for a while.
Never forget it. Never forget that day. But we did get to play once again. Thanks to Andrew Campbell, Black Hole
Yeah.
Club. That was really a nice treat
was
for you.
really good.
And then back to work today. Where we're
Budget season.
picking up the pieces of
Yeah.
here at our course.
Yeah.
My signs blew apart over here.
Just ripped to shreds.
Shreds. It was like somebody just took a machete and just started slicing it up. That went into the garbage can very quickly this morning. But other than that, the Apple 9 doesn't have a leaf on it because you'll never see a leaf on the Apple 9. So if you want to play a course with no leaves,
Come to Apple.
come to Apple. We don't have any trees out here.
It's nice.
Yeah. We have the natural, it's just perfect. It's like a link style golf course. Very ideal. But, well, what do you think? We'll save all the other stuff for.
If I keep talking about
another
it, then I'm
day.
going to get into what happened when I got home, and that's not going to be pretty.
All I could say about when I got home is put the kids to bed and I slept like a baby. My goodness.
I've never seen a diaper blow out like that in my life. And after that experience on the boat, it was all I could do. Yesterday was a rough day, I'm telling you.
It was physically
It was a rough day.
Well, we started it early.
Oh.
We started it very early, and you ended
And we
it
haven't
with
alcohol never even played a part.
nothing. Just this couple sips.
First one of those days in my life I've had like that where alcohol wasn't a factor.
I swear it still felt like the day after my 21st. But like
Well-
$1 million today.
Make sure you share the video. Make sure you get out here and play some golf. Conditions are great. We haven't aerated our greens, so greens are good. Make sure you share the video. Make sure you comment. I'd love to hear any stories you have. We found out that was one guy who does it all the time said about
Second time
second
ever.
time that he had ever heard of that they
Yeah.
actually went out and came back.
He goes back and forth daily on the boat.
And I'll never forget the one guy. There was one guy on the boat. He was an older guy wearing a coat and tie.
Oh,
And he was sitting there with his legs crossed. Didn't look like he looked like he was on land, just grinning from ear to ear. He thought it was seeing everybody just in just these pains and throwing up and everything. He was just loving it.
he loved it.
And he did like it wasn't even a thing.
I'm glad I didn't see that, man. I'm glad I didn't see that, man.
He's like, yeah, everybody's getting out of the boat. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna hang out, talk to Captain. Yeah, I've had it, buddy.
Yeah, that guy has
Holy
been on a few
moly.
boat rides for sure.
Unbelievable. Godfather, we'll see you next week.
Good day yesterday.
Oh,
Good day.
a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.